Hey everyone, if you've been here before, hopefully by now you know the drill. But if it is your first time here, welcome. This is Financial Journey. My name is Alex, and on this channel, I bring you the financial education that I never received growing up. While I am not a financial advisor, real life has just necessitated that I learn at least the basic ins and outs of personal finance, admittedly far later in life than I really wish I would have. And I've taken the time to synthesize what I've learned here for all of you. So hopefully you'll be able to avoid our mistakes. Over the past several weeks, I've been detailing the financial independence, retire early, or FIRE movement. Something a little outside the traditional retirement path that can allow you to quit your job and escape the rat race, potentially decades before your peers. In addition to FIRE, I've tried to highlight the benefits of financial independence and the various paths one may take to get there. Today marks a milestone, as we're going to discuss the last of these paths that at least currently I'm planning to detail on this channel, and that would be Barista FI. Barista FI is sort of a compromise position between FIRE, Coast FI, and Slow FI. If you're not familiar with any of those, I've made a whole playlist which walks through each of those step by step. So be sure to check out those videos for more information, or if anything remains unclear by the time you finish this one. That said, as is the case with so many of these options, the actual definition will vary somewhat depending on who you're talking to. In the case of Barista FI, this may actually have the most diverse definitions of the bunch. Essentially, at its core, Barista FI is where someone is not yet financially independent, but no longer wants to deal with the high-stress environment of their current job. So rather than entering full retirement, as their savings cannot yet support it, they instead make a career change to pursue something with less hours, stress, and/or responsibility, with the pay simply supplementing the passive income that their investments can make. A classic example of this, and where Barista FI really gets its name, is taking a job as a barista in a coffee shop, such as Starbucks. Barista FI is by no means limited to this career path, but Starbucks is just one of several companies that those in Barista FI often flock to, as in addition to steady paychecks, they can actually offer generous benefits, including health insurance, which is something that can otherwise be quite expensive on the open exchanges. But here's where the definitions begin to diverge. First of all, there's the baseline Barista FI, where the income of a part-time job or low-stress job combined with the passive incomes savings and investments can provide collectively support one's financial needs. The largest benefit of this is simply that it can get you out of stressful jobs that you don't enjoy. And as I mentioned, if you find the right job, can simultaneously provide not only a paycheck, but benefits, including health insurance. And while many living Barista FI do seek out jobs which provide benefits, it's not actually a requirement. Some will actually pursue a side hustle or gig work. The job itself doesn't really matter. Truly, you want to find something you enjoy, as long as the numbers actually work. You just may need to make higher wages or work more hours if the job is not providing those benefits. One slightly less tangible benefit is it just gives you something to do with yourself now that you've left your long-term job. Going from a pedal to the metal, nose to the grindstone type work to having no draws at all on your time can be quite the culture shock. And particularly given that your friends and family likely will still be working normal 9 to 5 hours, simply finding ways to pass the time are quite important. However, the biggest downside of this traditional Barista FI approach is simple. If you're drawing down on your portfolio to supplement your part-time low-stress income, then you're no longer growing your nest egg. And this means simply you're not getting closer to reaching full financial independence, and thus will require a job at a minimum until you can draw on Social Security, if that even continues to exist. But the next form of Barista FI falls within the domain of Coast FI. Essentially, this form of Barista FI uses a part-time low-stress job to simply cover your living expenses in full for a limited period of time, no longer investing for the future, but simply paying the bills. However, by doing this, you're allowing your investments to continue to grow in the background. Essentially, you're able to coast your way to your FIRE number without the intense focus on saving as much as possible. Coast FI at its surface doesn't require that you drop a career you love to simply take on a Barista FI type job. You can of course continue to work in a job you love and simply spend more on yourself, your family, your giving, or experiences. But with Barista FI, you'll take a little bit longer to get there, but you might enjoy the journey just a little bit more. Usually, one thing that differentiates traditional Coast FI from Barista FI is that for Barista FI, you're usually only coasting for about 5 years, oftentimes less, to reach your FIRE number. The next form of Barista FI is the last one I'm actually going to focus on today, and is associated with FIRE. Lean, traditional, fat, it doesn't really matter. Because FIRE practitioners usually endeavor to reach financial independence and retire long before they can make use of things like Medicare, Social Security, and so on, Barista FI can provide a bit more cushion in the budget and take just some of the pressure off of the investment gains supporting your lifestyle while simultaneously lowering your annual expenses by securing benefits, which can of course include healthcare. To be honest, there's some overlap here in exactly how you want to define these, but someone who's achieved lean FIRE, for example, may be able to find a job making, say, $20,000 a year working part-time, thus lowering their stress, living more of a semi-retirement lifestyle, while simultaneously allowing their nest egg to grow towards traditional or fat FIRE over time. And as I mentioned earlier, these jobs, if you're able to find one you enjoy, can be a great way to just socialize and pass the time, particularly when living on an otherwise tight budget, as you slowly transition into true retirement. So there you have it. Which of these types of Barista FI speak to you? Have you thought about pursuing Barista FI in the past, or how are you planning to reach financial independence? Please let me know in the comments section down below. If you haven't already, I don't know what you're waiting for, please give the like button a tap to turn it blue, and be sure to check out our other videos. I post each and every week on various topics of personal finance, as well as detailing my own path towards FIRE, with monthly updates on our net worth, budget and spending, and portfolio changes. If you want to be sure to never miss an upload, become a subscriber and turn on notifications so YouTube can alert you each time we post a new video. As always, I'll see you in the next one.